It is the Matt Mosley Show, right here on what we like to call the Rogue Media Network. And good to be with you today. And Kevin Hall is with me as always. Kevin, who's your Hall? We got college basketball. It's a big day. I mean, Kevin, we had such a busy day yesterday. We had another great guest on with Scott Drew. There's some of Scott, and we had some interesting stuff from Scott on NIL and the Indiana hiring that GM from the NBA, what that's like. And so the number 2 ranked Arizona Wildcats come in tonight, and we'll let you in the 2:00 hour. We'll let you hear some from Scott and some of what we had yesterday. And in fact, as we speak, there's more coming from that interview that a lot of people have found interesting. And so we love that. We like to tape these things, and then we like to put it out there for America to talk about. So thanks for everybody coming in on Twitter. We have all kinds of stuff happening from the combine. People talking. We've got Nick Caserio was just talking to the GM for the Texans. We got comments coming from him. We got mock drafts to get into. Lots of interesting things, and I like today. Now, tomorrow's going to be a little bit crowded, and the rest of the week will be interesting because later in the week we'll have Baylor's new defensive line coach, Ja'Cory Greer, but also Kev, kind of exciting. I know he's been on a couple other places, but it's not official until he does Mosley Show. And DJ Lagway joins the Mosley Show. And the way I understand it, Kevin, is that tomorrow to begin our show. It's like 1 o'clock. It'll just be, hey, here we are.
Leadoff hitter. Let's go.
DJ, sometimes people like, well, can we record this? Can we? And we're open to that. But I like a man who'll just go, let's do it live. Let's go live with DJ Lagway. So the Baylor quarterback, and there's other stuff that's happened that's kind of interesting in college football, and we'll look back at his recruitment and how he ended up at Baylor and his story and all of that. And I just think we'll do this in a way that nobody else has done. And that's not to say anybody else did it wrong. I like what I've seen from people that have talked to DJ. But we'll do it our way, and that'll be interesting. And there's a lot I kind of want to get into, it's interesting to me, Kev, to think about, like, I think DJ will allow us to go like, hey, what did other schools say to you about Baylor and about your recruitment of Baylor? Did people try to use the fact that Dave Aranda's going into his final year possibly? Again, we hope not, but we know what the situation was, and based on results, we know what could have happened to Dave Aranda. But what happened is he got to stick around for another season. And so, boy, the Bears are going to come out throwing haymakers this season. I think it could make for a very interesting season. So DJ Lagway will start against those Auburn Tigers. And I would imagine, Kev, we need to look. Before we do this tomorrow, let's look and see what Florida, if he got a crack at Auburn in his 2 years at Florida. One interesting thing about DJ is that, man, his offseason before his sophomore season at Florida, he was banged up and he just didn't get to do much. Preparation, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be really cool at Baylor this year to see what he can do with like full on, preparation, all of that. Now, Kev, we'll get into, we got a lot to do today. In fact, we'll go and we'll dig in on some of Mel Kiper's brand new mock draft, what it means to the Cowboys, what it means for some of these others. When we put the graphic up there, Kev, I may have to put my glasses on to get all 32 teams represented. We had to make it a little on the small side, but I also could just look at my phone. I guess I could do it that way. And we'll look through and see his breakdowns, where we disagree, where we agree. Now, I've been in touch with people on the ground in Indianapolis for the combine that's getting started this week. Thursday will be kind of the first big day of workouts and all that stuff will start, and then going into the weekend. And so that'll be fun to watch on the NFL Network and other places. ESPN's coverage of that'll be good. Kev, I did reach out. Eric Edholm, who is unbelievable for NFL.com, he was just getting to town and getting his credentials as I was contacting him this morning. And so he's going to look at his schedule and find out the best time to be with us. You know, it's hard right now today because all the GMs and then Jerry will be in town and all of our Cowboys people are kind of occupied with that. All right. And so it's a little bit difficult to get them on, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do as we keep track of everything in Indianapolis. And Kevin, someday we may just go, hey, we're going to go. We're just going to go to Indianapolis. Now, I have covered the combine once for the morning news, at least 2 or 3 times for ESPN. It's fun. There used to be that mall that you could kind of walk from that
Circle Center Mall
downtown to there's a little skywalk from the mall that you could use to sort of get into the Lucas Oil, where we did all our stuff for the combine.
The convention center.
So I could be in the mall,
and
then I could take that little skywalk over to the convention center and show my credential and get in that way. Now, what was kind of cool, and it was very cold in Indianapolis, as I'm sure it is now, I stayed at something called the Conrad Hotel.
Oh, the Conrad, all right, okay.
Yes.
Right off Meridian in Washington. I know that.
And it was very nice. And I usually stayed in Marriott properties to get my points. But one time I remember Peter King talking about how great the Conrad was to stay in downtown. And so I said, well, I'm going to try that. And I even utilized the indoor. They had a really nice indoor lap pool. And then to get down there, get in the hot tub, and then I would swim a few laps. I can't to say that I actually did laps. I might be stretching it, but I do remember going down there and just having a nice time hanging in the indoor pool. And then, but one day, just to kind of pull back the curtain on how this works, Kev, a couple of fun stories. One, I was walking across the mall one day. What'd you call that? The Circle what mall? Circle.
It is the Circle Center Mall. It has that kind of glass. Are you talking about the glass area with the arts garden there?
Yeah,
really
just kind of out in the atrium. Yeah. So I'm walking through that area, Kev, and I see like a shaggy, long-haired man getting a chair massage. And I just remember what caught my eye was the long hair. What then caught my eye, and I did a double take, was the fact that both Rob and Rex Ryan, the two twin brothers, wait, are they twins? I think so. We're getting chair massages in that atrium area that you're talking about, kind of out. It's kind of like if you're at the mall and you're walking around outside the stores, whatever that area would be, whatever you'd call that, you're kind of at a mall. And then they have these little kiosks in the mall that they're selling sunglasses or whatever they're selling in the middle, right? And Rob and Rex Ryan were getting massages. And, today I would have taken a picture of it and put it up, and I probably would have got 1 million hits on Twitter or whatever. I don't think I had the presence of mind to do that back then. I think I was just kind of like, oh, this is interesting. and I did have a blog at the time, and I blogged about it on ESPN.com. That was the same. That was the same one where my friend Rick Goose Gosselin, the famous draft guru, was so excited because somebody out of Oklahoma, he thought that both of his parents were mechanical engineers. And so he was really excited about doing that story. And I want to say, and this guy, their son, that was going through the draft and got drafted in the second round by the team formerly known as the Redskins. I think it was Malcolm Kelly. Malcolm Kelly would have played for OU. And he's now a college football coach, pretty good coach somewhere. I think he was at TCU, and maybe now he coaches it. I forget where he coaches now, Kev. If you looked it up, I bet he's like the wide receivers coach somewhere. I just can't think where it is. But at the time, he was coming through the draft out of OU. And they do all these, they're at the podium, and you go and you try to hit as many interviews as you can. And Gosselin's big thing was he loved trying to interview like every player. And then he would do a big story on the people who didn't get invited to the combine. But he was very excited to get over and interview Malcolm Kelly. So I remember he gets up there and he says, so both of your parents are mechanical engineers. And Malcolm Kelly kind of looked around and he's like, well, he said, both of my parents are mechanics. And poor Rick Goose was a little bit down because he thought he had a great. And by the way, I think that's interesting that both parents are mechanics. I think that's fine, and I think that's a very worthwhile and probably can be a lucrative occupation to have, being a really good mechanic. But it was a little different than what Rick thought he was getting. He thought he had the interesting angle of both parents being mechanical engineers. So there you go. And yes,
I've lived in Indianapolis for a better part of probably 20 years of my life, and I particularly remember one time being downtown during the combine, and I was just across the street from the then Pan Am Plaza, and I saw Mike Singletary, coach then of the 49ers, just walking past where I was. I was like, oh,
he would.
Look at that.
And now you can see him just kind of hanging out in the Baylor press box, you know.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He is, you know, it's really, I accept either argument. Greatest Baylor player of all time. One is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. One sadly had his NFL career one cut short, but one has a Heisman. One was one of the greatest college linebackers ever. But if you believe that Robert Griffin III is the greatest player in Baylor history, I'm not going to argue with you. But I probably would lean toward who you just mentioned, Mike Singletary. All right. And then we could get into argument over kind of the Mount Rushmore of Baylor players, and both of them would have to be on it. And then I could go old school because there's some Ronnie Bull and Lawrence Elkins and some incredible players over the years by Thomas Everett in the 80s, who ended up winning a Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys, also played with the Steelers. So there's some great ones. And
to tout the city, my city that I grew up in, as you mentioned, what makes Indianapolis a great host city is the fact that, especially after the 2008, I think, Super Bowl, they made everything walkable. And it's kind of for that anyway. You can fly in, take an Uber to your hotel downtown, whether it's the Conrad or Marriott or Hyatt, whatever it is, and you never have to leave. Everything is walkable, most of it inside, and at the same time, there might be 2 or 3 other events that city could host, and you would never even know it.
The Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce is with us today, and that is Kevin Hoosier Hall, a proud guy who lived in Indianapolis for several years. As he said, I was also there for the Baylor, the Final Four. That was a lot of fun in Indianapolis, and when I was there for the Combine, I would go to that famous place, St. Elmo. Yep. The steakhouse there, and they're known for the incredible shrimp cocktail. Yeah. And I mean, I don't totally understand why, because to me, most all shrimp cocktails, you dip it in the cocktail sauce and they're kind of all the same. Now, I will say at St. Elmo's, they're maybe bigger than some other shrimp cocktails I've had. Those are larger shrimp, but most places I go to, a nice place, if I say I want the shrimp cocktail, it's rare I get the shrimp cocktail and I'm like, oh, I don't like this shrimp. But it's kind of all the same to me. But they make a huge deal out of their shrimp cocktail. They're kind of known for it. And there's one other place that's kind of known that may be owned by the same family.
Harry and Izzy's.
That's it.
Yep. That's probably the place that's known most for some of these. The official start of the NFL season doesn't start till mid-March, but a lot of those deals that you see come out right at the beginning of that kind of legal tampering all get talked about and kind of backdoor handshake deals done at Harry and Izzy's a lot of times. And so a lot of people like you would find the nearest table to some of those GMs and try to listen in on some of those conversations to get those inside information stuff.
Yeah, and I used to meet some of my favorite assistant coaches down in that basement at St. Elmo's, and we ate down there and had a great time. And it's also a very famous story. I think that's the site of where one time Sean Payton went to visit. He stopped by Jerry Jones' table, and I'm trying to remember which one of them tried to do it. It may have been Jerry. Sean and them were eating, and Jerry tried the old trick to grab the tablecloth and pull it out from under, and all the drinks and everything went away. There's some fun stuff sort of between Peyton and Jerry Jones. They have a great relationship, although it would have been nice.
If you want a historic basement story, if you go south of the railroad toward Lucas Oil Stadium on Meridian, there's the Slippery Noodle Inn, famous blues bar. Yeah. It is the oldest freestanding bar in downtown Indianapolis, and in the basement of that building, there are bullet holes from John Dillinger, who did his target practice in the basement of the Slippery Noodle Inn.
Wow. All right. That is, I like the historical, John Dillinger. In fact, I've always meant to watch that movie. Within the past, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, they did a Dillinger movie, and I don't think I ever saw it.
Public Enemy.
Kev, coming out of, what's that?
It was called Public Enemy with Johnny Depp as John Dillinger.
Yeah, Johnny may need to do it after all the money he's lost. He may need to do a Public Enemy too. The Houston Texans general manager. This is news that's come out this morning. Actually, right around afternoon, this story came out. Meeting with reporters there at the Combine, and there's been all this talk about C.J. Stroud and what would the Texans, would they be open to listening to offers for him? I mean, he went into the playoffs. I think still kind of considered, pretty good young quarterback, and what he did in that one playoff game against the Patriots was one of the more embarrassing things you could have ever watched. He had 5 turnovers. He was just horrific in that game. Caserio has shot down rumors of potentially moving Stroud and reaffirmed his commitment to his 4th-year quarterback. He called the trade talk regarding C.J. Stroud, quote, moronic. Morons. You morons out there wanting us to trade C.J. Stroud, who honestly you needed to pull from that game. That was just awful. We are not trading the guy. He's our quarterback, Caserio said Tuesday. He's going to be playing quarterback for the Houston Texans in 2026. Oh, rejoice. It was that game I'm talking about. He had a 4-interception outing against the Patriots in a 28-16 divisional round loss. And you might recall Drake May was trying to lose some of those games himself, and he just couldn't do it because Stroud was so awful. Third season, he threw for 19 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in 14 games. And he missed 3 games because of a concussion he suffered against the Broncos. I mean, I guess what I would wonder is, would you rather have Malik Willis? Would you rather have Mac Jones? Like, I'm just trying to think. Would you rather have Kirk Cousins come in there, who the Falcons have confirmed that they will, on the first day of the league season, about March 11th, I think it is, they are going to release Kirk Cousins. I think some Texans fans would answer yes to all of those things. I'd be a little careful. Caserio went on to say of Stroud, he's been a good player and won a lot of football games. Quarterback is the hardest position to play in sports. Some ups and downs, that's natural for a position. But overall, he's had a pretty significant impact on what we are as a program. He's not going anywhere. All right. Now I'll tell you who is going somewhere. Kev, let's look and see if you can find any of our old still pictures of what you had, like Jack Hughes from the other day. And our friend, the goalie. I've learned so much about the hockey, and now his name's escaping me. But, oh, my gosh, I loved watching him. Oh, you would think I would never forget that. That was amazing. And it turns out, some of his career went right through the Permian Basin. In fact, our own Cam Stewart covered his Jersey retirement out there in Odessa, somewhere out there in the Permian Basin. And boy, look at there. Kevin is Johnny on the spot. And we get to see the great Jack Hughes. There's my goalie standing on his head in that game. Unbelievable. No way they win that game without
Connor Hellebuck.
I love him. I like the spelling of Hellebuck. I feel like he deserves me learning the spelling of that name. Now, without looking at it, I would have no shot at it. But I think it ends with something like almost BYUBK or something.
HELLEBUYK.
BUYK. Okay. Hellebuck. I love the man. Love what he stands for. I don't really know what he stands for, but he stands for America. And let me just say this, Kev. The other day, they're on the phone. I mean, the director of the FBI, for whatever reason, is in the locker room, which, again, I don't care. I know everybody's like, I mean, I joked the other day, Kevin. I'm like, I didn't joke. I said how great it was that all Americans for one day could put all our differences and our politics aside. Kevin, how long did that last? Even 5 minutes? Did that last 10 minutes? We were all excited.
Well, there was outrage because they sang the national anthem in their celebration in Club 11 in Miami.
That's what I just read. To that? Oh,
I just heard the news. That,
no, it was somebody.
People were all upset about this.
Somebody said if you're troubled, it was like, it wasn't Slate, but it was some kind of magazine or online deal. I saw what you're talking about, and they're like, if all the USA chants and the singing the national anthem is making you uncomfortable, you're not alone. It's somebody who said it. It was kind of, I don't normally advocate, foul language, but somebody said something like F you. It was somebody pretty famous, but it was kind of funny, the timing of it. But again, So there, I know what you're talking about, Kevin. I think what I just mentioned is maybe what you're talking about there. But in this instance, they get Donald Trump, President Trump, on the phone. And again, we don't get in here pro or anti-Trump. Why would I get involved in that? I mean, I'm doing a sports show. It makes me now. What's his name? Found out the other day, Josh Pate, that signing up and doing an interview with Donald Trump can get away from you. He thought he was getting 30 or 40 minutes, then he got like 10 minutes, and then Donald Trump talked about stuff that he didn't want to talk about, and the thing just got away from him, and he's gotten a bunch of backlash, whatever. But in the locker room, Donald Trump gets on the phone. And this goes way back to the 70s and 80s, and teams would win a World Series or whatever, and they'd put the president on. George W. Bush did it. Ronald Reagan used to do it. It doesn't matter. I'm sure Bill Clinton did it. It doesn't matter what side, it's just the president, which we all used to, have respect for the office of the president. Anyway, Trump says something to all the hockey guys are in there. They're drinking champagne. They're all lubed up. And he makes some joke. I don't know. He said something like, guys, I have to also invite the women. Some of the players laughed. And he said, if I don't, I'll know why Trump made the joke. And I'm not ever. But now I'm going to just immediately go, I condemn the gold medal. No. And by the way, these guys are like, Jack Hughes is probably 24 years old, right? Maybe Quinn a little bit older, probably 26, 27. They're just in there celebrating. But all condemned it. He was talking down about American women. Well, the team has declined, and maybe they do need to know if it's a political statement by them, statistics thing. I don't know. But of course, the fact that the men is going to make Trump love the men and not like the women's team. I get all that. All right. But again, as a country, because here's what I would tell you. Most of these players on that team, I bet they don't follow politics. Now, maybe some of them voted for Trump. Maybe some of them didn't. They're they just won. It used to not even be a thing. It's like if you got invited, you went, because it's like a huge thing to get to go do that. So I think the discourse in this country, again, can we just be so happy? And here's where I am on this, Kevin. Can we all just celebrate that the men and women won a gold, and that we don't maybe even let's be charitable enough to not immediately say that the women are wrong and they're all, because like, I bet they didn't go player by player. Do you want to go to the White House? Do you want to go to the White House? For whatever reason, the women's team has decided we either got to get back, because remember, Kevin, let me remind everybody of this. It's not like the women's team is full of all professionals. Now, there may be a few that play women's professional hockey, but several of the women are really good college hockey players who actually got to get back to school after being out for 2.5 to 3 weeks or however long you have before you go to the Olympics. Okay. They've missed a month of school. So maybe they have to get back. So maybe we can be charitable enough to go, we're okay with the guys for going to the White House, and we're okay with the women deciding not to go. And people will go like, oh, Mosley, he's being on the fence. Oh, he's acting like Switzerland or something. No, I'm really not. So I'm just saying we don't have to get upset about either direction. What am I saying?
Rodney King was right. Can't we all just get along? You're on the side of Rodney King, as we all should be. Just get along.
Is it Rodney King who said that?
Yeah. Can't we all just get along? That's his famous quote. It was just what he was talking about on the news report, but
Uh-huh.
It's a thing.
Yeah, let's not get into that. But that has a whole separate thing that comes along with that if you're going to bring him into the discussion.
Wouldn't it all be better if we just got along?
Certainly. But that's not the way this works. And we live in a world where the how do you say that? Politicization. However, I feel like I'm missing a syllable there.
Politicism?
No. The politicization. Yes. We're both struggling. But it happens just immediately. And I'm just feeling great about what those teams did and the way they represented our country. And so I'm choosing, and maybe you call me, Mosley's getting soft, or Mosley's this, or whatever you call, whatever each side calls each other. But I'm not mad at the women for not going, and I'm not really mad at the men for going. I just am happy they both won golds. All right, let's do some Campus Confidential. There's a game from last night, Big Monday, that I want to react to, and there's a team on a 3-game losing streak that is shocking. In fact, I think this. And we'll talk about Darren Peterson, the long national nightmare. It's kind of at least changed a little bit, but there's a enormous college basketball story, and it happened last night, and it does in Lawrence, Kansas, and it doesn't have anything to do with Darren Peterson. That is next.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. And when it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. With the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. No reputable company or government agency will ever ask you to pay them with gift cards, Bitcoin, or a person-to-person payment app. Scammers use these options because the money can't be traced. Just don't do it.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Hemi is back, and it's Truck Month at Allen Samuels in Waco. Get a new Ram 1500 Bone Start Crew Cab with $10,000 off or 0% financing, plus the best truck warranty in America at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Come by, let's be friends.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
Boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
Oh, it is Mosley Show, and we got a lot going on today. And we'll hear from Scott Drew. Had a long conversation with Scott yesterday and have a big They have a big game tonight. Number 2, Arizona coming into town. So we'll let you hear some of the key parts of our sit down with Scott Drew. And Kevin has done a good job of doing that. I did want to tell you, come by, sell and trade at the longest running card show in Central Texas, the Texas Sports Hall of Fame Collectors Show, March 20th and 21st at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. Come meet former Pittsburgh Steeler Greg Hawthorne and former San Antonio Spur Alvin Robertson. Whoa. On Friday. Saturday, former Dallas Cowboy Mel Renfro, that's legend. Beasley Reese, who lives in the greater Waco area, I might add. He was a great player, a great broadcaster as well for NBC. And then the Baylor great from Temple, Texas, Lake Seastrunk. Show hours are Friday, 11 a.m. till 5, and Saturday, 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. For more information, visit theautographsync.com. All right. Theautographsync.com. And that you can get more information on that. But good stuff. And I've done shows from there over the years. And that's a really nice setup they have there at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, which is a great place. And Jay Black, who executive director over there, is a great friend of mine, and they do an incredible job. And in fact, I would like to, I don't know, I might need to start voting over there. There's people, I enjoy seeing how they do that and seeing some of the people that end up in there. It's a very, very interesting. They do a great job. But the main thing I like about it is the dedication they have to preserving the history of college football, and in particular, the SWC. And that wing of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame is something that I could go there every day. I could go there every day and experience something new and fun and cool. And that takes me back to my childhood. And I was a college student as that was coming to an end, the old SWC. And that was my childhood, and I love it. So love everything about the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. It is, and thank you, CNB. Thank you, Central National Bank. Thank you, Cherry Johnson, Siegmund James. And, of course, Thursday we'll do our Schmaltz's trivia question contest, and we'll get Schmaltz love. Schmaltz, Britt Tully, and the whole gang, what they're doing over there, and just love and appreciate the fact so many of you have come over from my radio show over to my daily streaming show over here at Rogue Media Network. So many great sponsors, including, let's not forget, Alan Samuels. Wow. Ted Teague and his group, love those new commercials. What they're doing on trucks, sometimes I'm like, wait, $10,000? You could save $10,000 on a truck? I mean, it's like crazy. And so some of the deals they were doing, even just recently, this President's Day sale that I was talking about, doing an incredible job. And I like Ted's new commercials, emulating the late, great Alan Samuels as he used to walk across town with that jacket over his shoulder. And they've brought that back with Ted Teague. And Ted is doing a great job on those. Okay. Let's the GM out there, I might add, at Alan Samuels out there on Highway 6, heading out there toward where you would kind of getting close to 84. You look over there, and there it is, beautiful lot. Some great car dealers in this town, in the town of Waco, Texas, and then out in McGregor, of course, as well. All right, Kev, let's do a round of Campus Confidential. And, man, huge game last night, but we can start this, Kev, wherever you would like.
All right. Well, I'm going to start it with a news that came out yesterday that Gunnar Rivers is committed to his dad's old school, NC State. So the question I have for you is, will he be the kind of next generation iteration of Eli or Peyton Manning to be a quarterback following in his father's quarterback footsteps
Well,
and see success all the way through to the NFL?
that's a lot to put on him. He's already got enough with that name. So I don't really have a definitive thought on that other than I did find it interesting that, like, when you go to certain schools, like an NC State, and maybe you pick them over a Georgia or an Alabama or a University of Texas, there's that thing that people do where they seem like they lower your status. Your star goes down, and some of that looks like it happened to Gunnar Rivers. You think because his name, it might go the other. People say Arch gets too much positive press because of his name, but he plays at a blue blood school. NC State is arguably a blue blood basketball, kind of on the fence. They didn't have that great national title, but they play in that part of the country where people love their hoops on Tobacco Road. But I saw yesterday when this kid committed, they put him right down there on a 3-star. And that's pretty uncool. I don't know exactly how that works, and I don't understand it. And I feel like all the people that do that stuff point at each other. It's like Spider-Man. It's like, it's your fault for that. But because of his dad and because of the access he's had to unbelievable coaching and everything, hey, it gives him a leg up, I think, on some other players. Now, once you get out there, nobody cares. Once you start getting out there, I mean, it's like Arch last year. It's like, oh, he's going to be great. Oh, they're going to be number one in the country. Uh-oh, he's not good. Uh-oh, he's throwing interceptions. Oh, he's struggling. And now we're back to next year going, oh, by the way, he's back. He's going to be the number one prospect, and UT is going to be the best team in the country, right? It's like we just like forget. We're like 6 months removed from calling him, or 5 months removed from calling Arch Manning like this huge failure, this huge bust. And now we're already back to saying, oh, man, he's going to be great. He's going to be the number one prospect. So I don't know. The one thing I know is there's a chance that there'll be more Rivers than Mannings because much like you, Kevin, he's been a busy man. He's been a busy man, and I believe he's either got 9 or 10 kids.
Yeah, he's got 10.
And Gunnar might be the first college kid. But Gunnar has committed to North Carolina State. Will he be in the 2027 class? Is this right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That was kind of my other thought was Gunnar maybe, and I think he's got another son, and this year will be Gunnar's senior year, right? And so this is the one opportunity
next season. Yeah.
Okay, it'll be the one opportunity that Philip has to coach both of his sons at the same program. So, there may be some of that's holding him back from being an offensive coordinator or a QB coach, something that was kind of brought up with what he was able to bring to the table when he came back to the Colts.
I'm glad something you said struck a chord with me right there about like coaching his son. I heard Joey McGuire tell the story recently that University of Texas had asked him to come on several years before Matt Rule did, let's say 2015, 16, whatever it was. And he talked to somebody to get some advice, and they basically said, you'll never have the chance to coach your son again, like this, as a head high school coach.
Right.
And Joey decided to not take that University of Texas job. And you know who took it? You know who ended up getting that job? Jeff Traylor. And then later on, what's kind of interesting is Joey turned down the UTSA job when he was at Baylor. And who got that job? Jeff Traylor. So Jeff Traylor, in some ways, owes his career to both those guys. By the way, the amount of state titles they have, one at Gilmer, Traylor has either 3 or 4. I hope I'm not shorting him. and Joey had 3 at Cedar Hill. So Joey has 3 state titles. Yeah. So I still think it's amazing when a high school coach, I was trying to think back, like the greatest high school head coaches that ended up being great college head coaches. And it doesn't happen all that often because a lot of college coaches start off as GAs and they don't do the high school thing. Now, Signetti did, but remind me, Kevin, since you're the biographer basically of Curt Signetti, was he a head coach ever of a high school team, or was he an assistant high school coach? Do you know for sure? I think we'd have to look back at that.
Sure.
All right. But high school head coaches, it's fairly rare for them to go on and be great college coaches. Joey McGuire has done it at Texas Tech. Jeff Traylor has done it now at UTSA. And I guess the guy did it for a little while who's now the offensive coordinator at Clemson. And he was the head coach at SMU. Who am I thinking of? Chad. What's Chad's last name? Chad, whoever was the head coach at SMU. Then he became the head coach at and his son was named Chandler,
Morris?
who was the quarterback at
Morris. Chad Morris. Yep.
Chad Morris, yes. I was playing trivia with my own, with myself in my brain. I'm like, wait, his son's named Chandler.
Curt Signetti was never a high school head coach, but his dad was. Frank is a Hall of Fame high school coach.
And Frank and Saban coached together at some point, right?
Yes, Frank hired Saban and gave him his start, and then Saban got
like in the MAC or something. Where was that? Where did that happen?
It was when Frank was at
Kent
West Virginia.
State. Oh,
Frank was at West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Golly. Is Frank Signetti? Have we lost him, or is he still with us?
Let's see. I think he's still around.
I'm just kind of curious, because if Frank's still around, you thought we would have maybe heard even more stories leading up to the
22.
We lost him. Oh man, not that long ago.
Yeah.
Golly, can you imagine Frank looking down over? Yeah.
It was just before Sig got the IU job.
Do you think what do you think old Frank would have thought about Curt doing that thing where he's like, Purdue sucks, Michigan sucks, Ohio State sucks. All right, what else do you have for me, sir?
All right, speaking of college football, I saw this. I thought this would be interesting here. This is somebody's take on the hot seat. How hot is the seat for college coaches at these various schools here? Let's see.
Can you take the Central National for just 1 second there? Oh no. Yeah, I was afraid my alma mater might be scorching hot. I mean, if it weren't, I would question the list. I mean, given what just happened and given the way it all happened, I think that's
I'm not sure South
appropriate.
Carolina deserves to be that hot.
Oh, I do.
One season removed from a big success that they had. 2 seasons.
Yeah, but it's the SEC, and they ran off Muschamp. They've run off lots of coaches in the past, and I think Shane had a bad year. I think this year, what did they go in conference? They win 2 games maybe in conference, like 2-6 or 2-7, and then I'll tell you what will really get you fired is having like a 31-0 lead over A&M at halftime, and then getting your rear beat. That's bad. That was a bad look for South Carolina. A&M comes back to win that game, 34-31.
Yep.
So I understand that. I didn't even know who's the M there. Is that
that's Maryland?
Okay, because I get it mixed up lately. I've been seeing an M with Miami of
Right.
Ohio.
Right.
Um,
This is just Power 4, I believe. So
I love that they have Belichick. I don't think. Let me look and see what they have there
I mean,
on hot.
hot,
I
you got
don't think
Belichick and
Dion's
Dion.
hot. I would agree on Belichick more than Dion, just because Belichick this whole season was kind of embarrassing for him. Warm. Let me see what
I
I
put
think.
Purdue
of
at
those.
hot. I don't think West Virginia deserves to be warm. I mean, it's Rich Rod's first
Well,
season
here's the
back.
problem. OU and Alabama, that thing can get away from them so fast. If they have an awful seasons, they could go to scorching hot from warm.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Now,
I mean, like, I think you could
I
say
would
Bill
say-
O'Brien at Boston College is more than warm. I think you could
I
say
would
he's
s-
hot.
I'd say DeBoer should be even in the hot seat right now. But
I don't understand, though, why you would have some of those groups. Like, what's the one above warm? I can't read that stuff in the yellow. What's the one above that called? What's that section called?
room temp.
Okay. Like, that's
Room
not
temp.
fair to the Utah coach to call him room temp. It's not fair
Right.
to the new Auburn coach. It's not fair to the new Kentucky coach. I mean, as crazy as a lot of these fans are, you're not going to fire he'd have to almost lose every game to get fired. The Colin Klein from Kansas State. That's stupid. Why is he on that list? Why is the Iowa State coach on there? Brand new coach. Same thing with Oklahoma State, Arkansas. That's dumb. That's dumb. So I see that as dumb, but it's an interesting. I'm glad you did it.
I think
Yeah.
I think the idea is everyone is on here at some level, right? And I think that those would be, well, we don't really know yet, and so they have to start at kind of that room temp.
Why is Dabo on a lifetime contract? I mean, Dabo had a bad season, and same thing with. I mean, the only reason they put Iowa's up there because they never will fire that guy. He gets to survive anything for.
I agree with those
for
two.
inch,
I'm
yeah.
like, why are they there? Doesn't make sense.
I think A&M. I think you can make an argument right now that A&M, the way they, I think Mario Cristobal and A&M and Eve should be up there under a lifetime contract. And honestly, right now you could put Lane up there. I mean, Lane can do no wrong right now. Now that can turn on you in a hurry, obviously at LSU. Everything else is fine.
Should Dan Lanning actually have a lifetime contract after losing to IU twice in the same season?
Yeah, you could make that argument. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing Oregon on ice cold, but that's interesting who they had a lifetime. Like right now, for instance, I would say I would have the guy at Georgia Tech up on ice cold. There's no reason he's cold. I would have the guy at U of H. I'd have Willie Fritz at ice cold. I would have Whittingham as ice cold. So some of those guys that they put on cold instead of ice cold are wrong. All right, we're ripping this thing wide open. But I'm glad you brought it up because I kind of like to do that. All right, sir. Oh, and TCU, by the way, I would have that. Where's my finger here? Okay, I would have TCU warm. I would have Sonny warm. I mean, there's no reason to have him cold. Yeah. I would have him warm, and I would have I don't even know who's at Northwestern now. What? Yeah, everything else is fine. I would have the Virginia Tech coach ice cold. I would not have because he's brand new, just coming from Penn State. All right, sir, what else do we have?
Well, speaking of hot or cold, take a listen to this from Darren Peterson, and I have a question.
I say probably after every game this year, so I don't really pay attention to it anymore. I don't know. I've kind of been a antisocial loner my whole life, so I kind of just deal with it on my own.
So is that A good explanation, or is it another red flag for NBA teams?
I am just glad to hear from him. And then I saw some CBS Sports quotes, maybe from his people that are coming out there. That's interesting that he called himself an antisocial loner. I did see behavior that I liked from him. I mean, the discourse on him has been so negative. Let me just say a couple of positive things. I thought last night against a great team that he played within himself. He had a couple of big shots. He let his teammates, he made some good passes. I thought he kind of played within the system. He didn't try to be a star or anything like that. He had 14 points. He let that kid number 3, is that Trey White? That kid played great for Kansas last night. I saw positive things out of Darren Peterson. I also saw, after the game, when they were interviewing the star of the game, they were over there all kind of huddled up behind him. And, I just thought Darren was right in the middle of it, having fun. And he kind of looked like a teammate. He didn't look like, I'm kind of above this or apart from my team. Thought he looked like he was having a great time. So maybe this is trending in the right direction. It's like I found his antisocial loner comment. I don't know him well enough to know if he was kind of being funny or if he's really being honest. And quite honestly, if he's being honest, I think that's healthy. I think that's kind of healthy to sort of at least know that about himself and kind of go, this is kind of how I am. I'm kind of a loner type guy. I mean, on a much lower level, for instance, at the local high school here where my daughter went, they had a star running back, and he's going to SMU. He's in the 2026 SMU class. He's making a lot of money to go to SMU. His name's Christian Rhodes. And I remember hearing about him he eats lunch alone and he just likes being alone. And I remember thinking, I don't know what I think about that. Well, but then you get him on the football field and he's blew everybody up, fast, big, tall. I mean, just incredible. And I'm just like, you know what? If that's his personality and he's comfortable in his own skin. Now, sometimes loners we think of, oh, you should go sit with them, or, oh man, this person was always sitting with themselves and so by themselves, or that's kind of sad. We tend to have that thought about people eating alone until you realize, Kevin, that some of us enjoy occasionally sitting down alone and having lunch or even going to the movies alone. That's okay. Not everybody has some kind of issue when you see that happening.
When I was in high school, I felt like I was a failure if I ate alone. And now that I am a father of many, eating alone is one of the most magical things on planet Earth.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what to make of it, other than I think it's kind of good that they let him talk. They haven't done him any favors by kind of hiding him, so to speak, through all this. And the more he's able to kind of share, some of it came out in an ESPN story that Myron Medcalf did. If you haven't seen that, it's a free story on ESPN.com. And I thought some of his comments were kind of interesting there. And if he doesn't read any stuff out there and he's not on social media, that's a healthy thing. I don't think that's bad at all. I think that's an extreme rare thing for someone his age. For someone 18 or 19 years old to not be on their phones or have any social media is both rare and healthy. I really do think that. So, in fact, Kevin, I mean, we were the last people to allow our daughter to have Instagram, and you would have thought we were the worst, meanest parents ever. I look back now and I'm proud of that. I'm proud that we were last to allow that. Now, did she miss out on a couple of things, or maybe it was Snapchat? I think we really held out for a while on Snapchat. And, again, it was kind of like, oh, we're those weird only child parents. Oh, we're hovering too much. I don't know. I thought it was a healthy thing to do, and I'm glad we kind of fought for that. Looking back, I don't think she looks back now and is like, oh, I missed out. Oh my gosh, I'm not good socially because my parents didn't let me have Snapchat for a long time. I mean, if anything, Kevin, I look back and wish I'd kept her off of it longer than I did. I mean, and all parents have to decide, okay, when do we give them a phone? And it's like those kids go off to 7th grade without phones, and I guarantee you, people are looking at them like they're aliens. Oh my gosh, your parents haven't given you a phone, and you're in 7th grade. That's crazy. Well, I don't know. Not to get all into that.
Not crazy. All right.
Yeah.
So with 3 games left, Houston has lost 3 in a row. So are they going to win their last 3 against Colorado, Baylor, and Oklahoma State? Or is there another loss still in their future?
I would love for there to be a loss, especially against Baylor. It scares me to think that might be their like senior day or something. I don't know where that OSU game is, but oh no, senior day.
Oklahoma State is on the road, so yeah.
No,
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably senior day for them. That's not fun. That's not fun. Yeah, they'll win those 3. As much as I hate to say that, love to see the Bears pull the upset there. Bears have a way better chance of pulling the upset tonight at home against number 2 Arizona than they do on the road against the University of Houston. Let me tell you, Kev.
That'll lead to my next question.
Yeah.
But if you had more, go ahead.
Hold on. Stay with me for a second. I'm trying to decide what I'm seeing from Houston. First of all, like, it's crazy. And part of it, you're like Fog Allen, but Houston isn't scared by tough road environments. So that doesn't totally make sense. Like, for them to not be able to get point scoring production with Sharp, Uzan, and Kingston Flemings is just scary. Yet that was really the first game, and they've now lost 3 in a row, and it hadn't happened for Houston since 2017. Kevin, it was the first time I really thought I now understand that Kelvin has always functioned better when he has somebody who could score down low. And while Tugler's a good low post presence, and Sacco and those other guys they can throw in there are fine, none of them are scorers. Tugler doesn't really have post moves. He's a good rebounder, a good defender, all that. But he can't go get you a bucket. And that's what that game was screaming for. I need somebody to go get us a bucket. Now, what was the guy last year, Kev, that had gotten so good for, is it Juwan? That was his first name. Juwan, I don't know. He killed Baylor. I can't believe I can't think of his last name. But anyway, he over the years, he developed. And by the time he left Houston, he had a tremendous, same for Jarris Walker, who's now playing, Kevin, for a team. I think, isn't he playing for the Pacers? And because the Pacers have so many players out and all that, he's getting to play a lot more, and he's actually showing up and scoring quite a bit. And I think he's even shooting the 3 a little bit. But I just think Kelvin functions best when he has a low post player that can score. And he doesn't have that right now. And last night, even with all those 3-point shooters, and man, Kingston Flemings can get anywhere he wants on the court. Really Sharp can too, but they couldn't score. They couldn't score on Kansas. That's a problem. Yeah, I think there is reason for concern at U of H. Now, they'll win these last 3 and they'll be fine. But I think, who does that leave us? Kansas and Arizona. I guess Arizona is going to win the conference, right? Is that because they only have the 2 losses. So I guess they will. It is extremely rare for U of H to lose all these games. 3 in a row is shocking. Is shocking for that team. Kevin, what else were you going to ask me? Campus Confidential.
Right. So last one, play a little game with me. This game is which ranked team falls tonight. You have to pick one of these teams that will lose tonight to an unranked team. Okay? Duke to Notre Dame, St. Louis to Dayton, Tennessee to Missouri, Arizona to Baylor, or BYU to UCF. That is the only game of those where it has a road underdog. Every other game, the underdog is at home.
What was the last one you said?
BYU, UCF. UCF is on the road, so it's in Mormontown.
Mormon. Don't start taking after me when it comes to that stuff. I would say I like that game. You said Tennessee, the Vols have to go to Mizzou.
Uh-huh.
I like Mizzou in that game. I like
Right.
Dennis Gates and Dennis. Boy, they had some stuff going on after one of those games recently, like halftime. I can't remember who they were playing the other day, and they had some stuff going on. And Dennis took his team out a different exit at halftime because there was some back and forth that was happening.
Tennessee. So Tennessee just upset Vandy and then jumped into the top 25, and now you're saying that they're going to get beat and pop back out, basically.
Okay. Whoa, somebody didn't like that comment. Yeah,
I know. It must
that's
be
that Smokey, that dog from Tennessee. Yeah. That's that. What kind of dog is that? It's kind of like a hound. That's a good looking.
It's a hound.
I like that Smokey, that hound dog that they have at Tennessee. A&M has the collie. Does anybody else have a dog? The Butler Bulldog, the Georgia Bulldogs. They both have dogs.
Yeah.
Mississippi State. Do they have an actual dog that they bring to the games? Mississippi State Bulldogs? I don't know. I don't know their bulldog. Does anybody know that? All right. Is that it, Kev? Do you have anything else?
It.
Okay.
That's it.
I tell you what we'll do, because we do still have. We're going to finish the. We're going to finish today with. We've got some to share with you, getting you ready for tonight's game. Some of the best from Scott Drew. From yesterday, and boy, we hit on a lot of interesting topics that I think you'll enjoy. But next, Mel Kiper has his new mock draft. Where does he have the Cowboys picking at 12 and 20? If this happens, what Mel Kiper is saying happens, I think Cowboys fans would be elated. We'll tell you about that next.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Ready for a better kind of primary care?
At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same-day or next-day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NordVPN.com. Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kitbag.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
Circulon C1 Series Clad with Scratch Defense Non-Stick. Maximize cooking, minimize cleaning. Discover the unmatched durability and elegance scratch-free, worry-free, forever.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
It is the Mosley Show. And Kev, as we speak, I was tweeting out some of our show. And one thing that Scott said to us yesterday, we'll play some of that for you to get you ready as the number 2 Arizona Wildcats come rolling into Waco tonight. And man, it's I thought that was good that Scott said yesterday, reminded everybody. I mean, Baylor has had 3 of the top 6 all-time longest winning streaks in Big 12 history, and had the longest until Arizona came along and went 23 games. Baylor had a 23-game streak, and so they remained tied for the longest win streak in Big 12 history. You would think Kansas over the years would have had the longest, and of course they do some incredible things at the Fog. That one that's wild, Kev, is Bill Self with his 41 straight wins at Fog Allen on Big Monday. You do not want to face. He's 41-0. He's 41-0 at Fog Allen on Big Monday. First of all, it's shocking that they've had that many. Like if we had how many Baylor Big Monday games there had been in Waco, I bet it's like, even though Baylor's been great for, I don't know, going on 15 years or something, maybe more than that. I bet Baylor's would had like 16 of those. And Bill Self has coached in 41 of those. Goodness gracious. It's like Big Monday should just stay out there, just have a studio and just kind of stay out there all season. They do so many Big Mondays out there because they love the atmosphere. They like the way Fog Allen looks on TV, and they like the way that crowd sounds. And Kevin, that crowd and the people who sort of account for the camping that they do to get those seats, they had to come out and apologize. Apparently there was somebody on the inside cheated to get seats or something. And so they've had some controversy there in the land of the Jayhawk. All right. And the other day, Bill Self went to talk to him. Kevin, we'll need to break here not too long to get ready for some Scott Drew. But let's look at Mel Kiper's latest. Let's look at his latest mock draft. It came out today, and I've been studying this thing on. Let me put my glasses on, and even with my glasses, Kevin, that's this is a visual aid just to kind of let you know that it's up there. Okay, that's not one that we expect everybody. If you can read that, you have incredible sight. Okay, even with my glasses here, I can't do that one. But
no one has to be able to read to do number one. Everybody knows who's going number one.
That's a fair point. As Kevin is suggesting or saying on mock drafts, people seem to believe Fernando Mendoza will head to the Las Vegas Raiders.
I have a personal problem with Mel Kiper, but
well, this probably goes back to some kind of,
I'm sure
Indianapolis kind of thing.
It all goes back to the fact that he's a Baltimore guy, so I think he has it out for Indianapolis every time.
I know, but that and it was like
look at his
the famous clip of the Indianapolis, whoever was the GM or owner or whoever it was back in the day, ripping Mel Kiper. I would say Mel Kiper's gone on to have a pretty dang good career, though. So let's give him his praise. Number 2 on this list, the Jets take Caleb Downs at Ohio State. I think a lot of people now believe that he's the best player in this draft. And I think that it's too high to take a safety. But, if you decide, well, this guy's the greatest. Now, what interests me is for the mocks for a while have had David Bailey going like 6 or 7, the outside linebacker, the edge rusher out of Texas Tech. They've got Arizona Cardinals, Mel does, taking him number 3 overall. Now, until you get to the Cowboys, I would say the most interesting one that jumps out at me is because, and I'm bringing this up because some people have the Cowboys taking this player at number 12. He's got the Washington Commanders, taking Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles at number 7. Wow. Says this would be the 4th Ohio State player off the board, the most ever in the first 7 picks for one school per ESPN research. Styles is getting a lot of love around the league right now. He's going to be fun to watch at the combine if he works out. Former safety has real speed on a 6'4", 243-pound frame. Oh, played safety? He played safety. He's now 6'4", 243 pounds. Good gosh. That will be, if he works out, that would be fun to watch. That player, Sonny Styles. Now, I will reveal now to you. Now, again, this will be interesting because I think the Cowboys could get a little frisky if they saw Reuben Bain Jr. get down to number 10, where Mel has him going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Whoa. If Bain is still on the board at number 10, the Bengals should sprint the card in with his name on it. Wow. I mean, I think the Cowboys at 12 would get very interested. Unbelievable player, the power, the speed, the bend, 9.5 sacks in 2025. He is awesome. He is awesome. Okay. I like the deal. Okay. He's got the Cowboys taking Mansour Delane, the cornerback out of LSU. It says no team gave up more passing plays with 25 or more yards last season than the Cowboys. Diggs was cut. Deron Bland coming off his second surgery on his left foot in 2 years. If there weren't already enough signs for Dallas, the entire cornerback class is still available at number 12 here. Delane can shut down opposing receivers while also making a bunch of plays on the ball. Broke up 11 passes and pulled down. I love it. I don't think he'll be there. And by the way, the run on cornerbacks start there with Kiper. Kiper has Jermod McCoy. He missed this season for he didn't play at all in 2025 after tearing an ACL. So I find that interesting. 2 cornerbacks going back-to-back there. Give me the guy who's not coming off the ACL. They took somebody last year coming back from an injury. He finally played off the board in this draft. Would be at number 6, the Ohio State Carnell Tate. The second wide receiver the wide receiver out of Arizona State, that'd be Jordan Tyson. Baltimore Ravens at 14. It does not sound like what Baltimore's going to do to me. Leave it more if don't. That does not. Baltimore may be looking to trade Eric DaCosta, and I've known him for years. Okay, that makes sense. Mel Kiper has the Cowboys taking from Miami, Akeem taking Delaney, upstart the pass rush and start to build that unit back up. Clowney was the lone Cowboys player to crack 6 sacks in 2025. Messidor, I mean, he's incredible. And you say, well, we had Reuben Bain across from him. Okay, yeah, fine. But I mean, you still have to evaluate him and look at him and look at that production and look at how he was in the playoff. And one of the reasons they just wrecked, no pun intended, they just, I mean, it's just like team after team. And it was Oregon who wrecked Texas Tech, but it was Miami who just, I mean, put Texas A&M in a headlock. Colin Klein and Marcel Reed, all those guys had a really, really good season. Those receivers had been unbelievable. The deep running backs, and Miami took over. Then they get the next playoff game. They take over again, and they make it all the way to the national championship game. All right? I love it. I love the combination of Mansour, Delane, and Akeem, the Dream Messidor. I mean, this one right here is, to me, that is maybe the dream draft. Okay, Kev, we've had that conversation of when will that second quarterback go. I thought, and I think you kind of pushed back on this, but I thought if Chambliss had to go in the draft, that based on his talent, athleticism, the way he played in the playoff, that he would have gotten shoved because of the desperation for quarterbacks up into the first round. I still think that. Now, obviously, he'll be back at Ole Miss. Tomorrow, by the way, a quarterback that Ole Miss and even Duke really thought about going after, DJ Lagway from Baylor. DJ Lagway will open the show with us at 1 o'clock. It's going to be good. It's going to be must-see YouTube TV. All right, must-see Mosley. And that'll be NBC used to have must-see TV. This will be must-see streaming. All right, and we'll look forward to having you on there as we start the show tomorrow with DJ Lagway. Kev, the second quarterback off the board, Ty Simpson, according to Mel Kiper. Ty Simpson from Alabama goes to the Steelers at 21. All right. And, we'll see. And we'll see how much juice Mike McCarthy has in that room, how much he wants a quarterback. I mean, my gosh, he's going to have a 44-year-old quarterback if they bring back Aaron Rodgers. Is he 44? I don't know what he is, but somewhere he's in his 40s. I would say the most interesting pick he has after that, the Eagles. Let's look at that since they're in the NFC East. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon. I think he's going to be a workout. It's going to be incredible. Had 8 touchdown receptions last year, explosive, and does a lot of damage after the catch. We got to see one up close at Baylor, and I think that's going to be, Michael Trigg will be fascinating to see where he ends up in this draft. A player who matured a lot at Baylor and deserves, I think he could be a second. And if somebody's really is desperate for a tight end, maybe late first round. As we get down there late in this one, how about this, Kev? This is fascinating to me. 2 running backs in the first round, and they're both from Notre Dame. Jadarian Price from Notre Dame to the Texans at 28, and then Jeremiah Love up there in the top 10 is what he has. That is very, very interesting to me. As we get down to the very end here, Patriots take outside linebacker Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma, and Seattle takes Avion Terrell out of Terrell out of Clemson. Boy, I tell you, if Avion Terrell gets down to 32, that is luck. That is huge luck, because some people have the Cowboys at 20 thinking about Avion Terrell from Clemson. I would be very surprised if he slips down there to number 32 and the Seahawks were able to take them. Now, there's always somebody that slides out of the first round that's on all the mocks. And who will that be this year? We'll see. We'll see. Could be Avion Terrell. But Mel has him down there at 32. Kev, anything on here that grabs your attention? What did he have the Colts doing?
The Colts do not have a first-round pick.
No first-round pick.
They also don't have a first-round pick
in a cornerback. That's right.
Next year.
Gardner. Oh, wow. Next year is... Wait, did they
Next
lose
2 years? No
both
first-round
of those
picks.
picks for Sauce, or there was something else involved
Yes.
in the oh,
yes,
wow.
and they traded Adonai Mitchell, the wide receiver out of Texas that they drafted 2 years ago, second-year player, because he had the huge drop that would have won them the game in L.A. against the Rams. He also had a holding penalty that brought back a JT touchdown that would have won the game in that same game, third game of the season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Buddy, you know how you were in love, by the way, with a receiver back in the day with the last name Hilton?
Yeah.
Did you know there's another Hilton in this draft?
Eugene.
No, I'm thinking about somebody else.
Oh.
Who's the receiver out of LSU? I think that kid is going to run. Yeah. I mean, that's scary for how low he could go. You know, you're usually picking between a cornerback or a receiver for the best 40 time. But if the LSU receiver decides to run, that guy, we're talking some major speed. Kevin, the breakdown. Oh, go ahead.
I think what surprises me or what may surprise people is where exactly Jeremiah Love goes. He is unquestionably the best running back. It's a terrible running back class, and so if you want somebody like that, you have to get it. And so I think the news that came out today about the Jets wanting to tag Breece Hall speaks a lot to the fact that they won't take him. But honestly, it wouldn't surprise me after Mendoza if anyone takes Jeremiah Love. Because if you need remotely a running back, you should take Jeremiah Love, because you're going to get even that high in the draft, you're going to pay less for somebody with huge upside and be able to, have the 5th-year option as well in the first round. So
because of your Colts, though, it's like people don't ever really want to do that again. Was that where Trent Richardson was taken at like number 3?
No.
Overall, who took him?
That was the Browns that took him. The Colts got the backside of Trent Richardson and thought he was going to be able to do something.
Yeah, I got you. I remember him in a Colts uniform.
Richardsons and Colts don't go well together.
Okay. Interestingly, by the way, we're going to finish today with kind of a best of to get you ready for tonight's game. Baylor and Arizona play, and it is number 2 in the country comes to Waco. Huge opportunity for Baylor. to hopefully catch a team sleeping, coming off a big win at University of Houston. They got to come to Waco. Who knows? Who knows what Baylor may be able to pick off? But Tommy Lloyd versus Scott Drew. Tommy Lloyd was on that Gonzaga staff when Scott Drew and Baylor won the national title game back there in 2021. So his respect level for Scott is very, very high. Last thing I wanted to share with you, the Cleveland Browns general manager, Andrew Berry, said they don't have to make that decision anytime soon on quarterback. And they said that they indicated that Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson will be among those competing to be the starter in 2026. Woo-hoo. Good luck, Todd Monken. Have fun with that, man. Should go great for you. Watson, Shedeur, Gabriel, Dylan. Is Dylan around there still? Have fun with that, man. Should be a great opportunity for you. All right, we'll have Scott Drew, Baylor head basketball coach, joins us next.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Central National Bank, this is Nikki. How may I help you?
Yes, can you please transfer me to the loan department?
You want to transfer?
Yes, please.
I'm sorry, you can't transfer right now.
What?
Have a good day. Yes, how may I help you?
I would like to transfer money from my C&B account to another bank.
Absolutely not. No. Have a great day.
Wait, hold.
I'm on your website and I'm trying to find the link for your payment portal.
The portal is currently unavailable. Have a great day.
We've received a few complaints.
Correct. We no longer allow any outgoing transfers, only incoming.
But the good news is, no money is leaving the bank. Like, none.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
Everybody at EcoLife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops. Made clean, made to clean.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NordVPN.com.
this is a great team for Tommy Lloyd this season.
He's done a great job, and it is one of those teams that really don't have any weaknesses. And you go down to Houston and you pull off a win. That's just shows you their toughness. And again, to go undefeated as long as they did, 23 games. Now, remember, Coach Mosley, we're really excited it was 23 because the Baylor Bears have a 23-game winning streak, which is the longest in the Big 12 now, tied with Arizona.
Nice.
We also have a 21-game win streak, and we have a 19. So we had 3 of the 5 longest in the Big 12. Now we have 3 of the 6 longest in the Big 12, the other 2 being Kansas's.
Man, I like that. You
didn't know about that, did you, Mosley?
Mosley passing you notes during our interview. My God, you had that right off the top of your head. That's good.
You know, actually, our coaches were texting during that Arizona game that they lost, and Coach Brooks is the one that first brought it up. We need a loss so we can keep our 23-game win streak as the top of the Big 12.
AB, I'm glad to hear from him.
So he was on point.
Is it more pressure than in the old days, or is it just the same as far as what you guys are facing?
Well, I think it's more pressure now, and the reason it's more pressure now, I was talking to Coach Izzo about this, and first and foremost, the players feel more pressure because anytime you're making NIL and getting paid, you feel just like if you got a raise, you'd feel more pressure to perform better. And I think players feel more of that now than they ever have because they've never really been in those situations before. And not only do they feel it like within, but I mean, even like I'm sure on the college campuses, I mean, it used to be a scholarship is really nice, but when you're getting paid a lot of money, then all of a sudden now, I mean, college athletes are human and they care what their peers think, and obviously they want to perform for them. But I think from the coaching standpoint, it's even harder because a lot of coaches have been involved in people giving to the NIL or to the collectives. And as Izzo said, they're not, when you've been in a place a long time, they're not donors, they're friends. And it's just like you, if you ever ask a friend for something and then you don't come through in a way that you feel they might want, which obviously for us is wins, then you feel like you're letting them down. That's even harder than just coaching and losing, you know? So you can see that it'd be very similar to like if you put on a show, you need funds to put on your show. You go to family members, you go to friends, and now if your show doesn't do well and you don't make it, you feel bad for yourself, but you really feel bad because you've incorporated family and friends. That's where the more pressure comes in.
Exactly.
And I mean, even in the pros, you coach in the pros. You have one owner but you're not out there depending on your family and friends to help you with the players.
Did you see this, what Indiana did with bringing in that GM who's been with the Pacers for a lot of years? That news just came out this morning. I thought about you because you're a real forward thinking. You like the NBA analytics. You've brought people into the program that have some NBA backgrounds. So you like to think about things like that. It's not, so again, this would not be anything totally new to you, but could you see something like that helping you, like a long, and I can, by the way, I've got candidates for you because I think I can think of one NBA GM who played at Baylor back in the day, and his son played for you, but somebody that could, help allocate the funding, help choose the roster, help work with you. When you see people do things like that, does that appealing to you?
Yeah.
And what do you think of that?
Well, I think it's definitely helpful, and it's something that a lot of us colleges have already gone to. Jason Smith is a GM for us, and in that role where in the previous couple years, like he's the one that would be talking mostly with agents and negotiating, and now more schools are becoming where it's in-house, being done by the athletic department for that part of it. But I think schools, for the most part, have somebody allocated to that, and they whatever their title might be, you have someone on a staff doing that. The difference is, if you look at an NBA staff, you probably have in a front office, let's say 20 people, including scouts, maybe 25. And so your front office is actually bigger than your coaching staff. In college, your coaching staff is bigger than what you would have allocated for a front office. And the difference is, a front office, you have one person in college per se, and with the portal, the way things are, you're changing out half your roster per se, because you're bringing in a lot of older people, so they only have 1 year left, and then you have to worry about people leaving. So let's say 40 to 70% of your roster flips every year, and you have one person in charge of that. In the NBA, maybe 30% of your roster flips, and you got 25 people, or 20 or 30, how many scouts you have and all that. So it is a little different. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's just interesting. I'm just thinking of some of the NBA connections you've had over the years, and it's interesting to see what they're doing, and I can't help but think, okay, that sounds like something Scott might enjoy. So
now going back to your numbers though, like the analytics part, I mean, we've used that since 2014.
Yeah.
So we look at, there's a lot of different analytical sites and places you can get stats, figures, and things like that. I'm just saying, in college right now, until front offices become bigger than coaching staffs, it's different. And I think at the end of the day, your coaches are the ones that are most responsible for the recruiting, because there's a lot more of the coaches than there are in the front office. Now, everybody's got to work together, but I think at the end of the day, the buck stops with what's nice about the NBA though is you got a cap, you got a luxury tax, so you have some fairness and balance, where in college, I mean, it can be all over the place. So I'd imagine if your budget was 3 times someone else's, you would have more bells and whistles, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I don't know what you're going to do exactly, but I know you're going to tweak some things and really study and look at the evaluation process. And if I know you, that's already started. And I would think you have people assigned watching the rest of the country right now, because I know what you're probably about to do to this roster. Scott, where are you all in the NIL right now? Like you obviously have a lot of friends in the business. You'll compare notes on things. You might not always get the honest answer from some folks on this answer, but like, we know it's not BYU probably, and it's probably not Texas Tech, but you know, you have had a lot of support, and you've had donors that want to get involved and help you out and all that kind of stuff. Is Baylor middle of the pack in the Big 12 right now, would you say, from what you know, when it comes to NIL money?
I think without avoiding your question completely, I would think with more information becoming available, I think people have a better idea where they need to be to make sure that they're in a competitive situation. So I think early on, there was a lot more false information out there, and it was hard to get more accurate information. I think most coaches now are pretty savvy and are pretty close to knowing where they are in pecking orders and where they are in total dollar figures. And I think schools knowing what the targets are at the end of the day, depending on how committed each school is and the resources they have, basically can decide where they want to be at. I mean, if the the bigger the budget, the more depth you have, the more talent you have. They're in a perfect world. Everybody's evaluations are spot on, but I think you can also say if the most money guaranteed a championship, well, then every year the pro baseball teams that spent the most would have a championship. And you and I know that doesn't happen every year. In college football, it hasn't happened. So it gives you an advantage and gives you a better probability, but it doesn't guarantee anything. I think you have a couple of things now in college basketball because that's what I coach. You have more injuries than you've ever had. And I have philosophy behind that or thoughts behind that. And one, technology is greater, so you find more. Two, I think because players are sports specific driven from a young age, Sports Illustrated called this out, I don't know how many years ago, that you'd have more injuries just because people don't grow up playing 3-4 sports. They don't take time off. I mean, year around, same muscles, overuse, overtraining, and they break down. Pace, physicality of the game, bigger, stronger, faster than it's ever been. So you just have, at all levels, I think you have more, and that more injuries, which means the more depth you have, the more you can survive those. Now, some are self-inflicted wounds, meaning some people can get injured not on the court. It could be something off the court, car wreck, whatever. But at the end of the day, that does usually attribute to more depth and more talent. So like your daughter, at the end of the day, if she could go to Baylor or she could go to any other school and money's equal, she's coming to Baylor because I know you and I know your family. But if it's X times, hey, 500,000 more, you can go to somewhere else. I don't know what you'd do or what you would do, $1 million more. I don't know what you would do or she would do. And those are real life questions. So again, the last thing I would say is when anyone gets everything picked right in the stock market, let me know so we can invest with them. And when every team that actually spends the most wins it all every year, then that's definitely the answer. So I'm speaking in circles here because it definitely helps. All right. It helps with talent and depth. But it doesn't guarantee anything. And nobody gets it right. So your job is to be as accurate and come up with as much assurance as you can on who fits your system, your program, your style. I think all of us are learning too, just how many people can you add a year? Can you flip a whole roster? Like what are those sweet spots? Because this game has really changed a lot in the last couple of years. And that's the fun part is it's something new. But for fix-it people like me, it'll keep you up at night because until you fix it, you're searching to get it fixed.
Maybe we shame people into like, hey, the Mormons are out here spending all these millions. The Baptists need to step up. Maybe we really need to make this a religious. We need to lead more into the religion.
Well, if Matt Mosley wants to pass the plate, that's not a bad idea. But again, at the end of the day, too, a lot of universities are working trying to get to some standard of rules. We've been waiting on Congress. Some people have talked about collective bargaining, but I know at some point everyone says this is not sustainable. So a lot of schools have been spending a lot of time trying to, what can be rules that can pass in the court that can be good for everybody to agree with so that we can enforce them. So, it's just, you're going through a lot of turbulence right now. Again, I think all of us, at least I feel I know much more now than I did the last 2 years. So hopefully going forward will be better. people have options out there in life now. There's so many things they can do. And without us having the type of year that everybody would like to have, still to show up, support us, means a lot to the guys. The guys are still fighting. And I hope everybody enjoyed that afternoon against Arizona State. The great news is now you get one against Arizona on Tuesday. Whenever you're playing in the Big 12, you're coming to games where you're seeing guys that are going to be playing in the NBA in the future for hopefully 10, 15, 20 years, maybe 20 years. But you get to see them in college.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping to get for next year, right? You get a superstar like Koa Pete hurt, and I mean, again, I hope he's back for the tournament. I'd love to see him. I hope he doesn't get too healthy by tomorrow night, right? He's got that lower leg injury. But then, Tommy says, okay, Del Orso, we hadn't really been using you that much. And then Del Orso steps up and has like 2 straight 20-point games. Burry's unbelievable freshman. I mean, that team is loaded. Hey, that's the great thing about the Big 12. It's the bad thing and the great thing is you can have a completely season-changing win that could really change some of the narrative. And not every conference gets that. So you have that tomorrow night. And yeah, that's it's a good luck to you. And I mean, I think it should be a great crowd and all of that. And who cares why they come out? Hopefully they come out to support the Bears. But if they come out and they want to see a number 2 team in the country or whatever, that's fine too, as long as they're in the building. Thank you, Scott.
Hey, you have a blessed day. Thank you, guys. See you Tuesday.
Okay. We'll be there. It is Scott Drew joining the Matt Mosley Show, and always love having him on.
Okay. That was really great for the first time on your own. Let's maybe take a break, and then we'll come back and do some more.
Sounds great.
Oh, you're back. That was a fast break.
I know.
Hi, would either of you be able to assist me?
Yes, she'd love to help.
Oh, yes. I love assists.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Golf Partner, overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries to your most breathtaking destinations and in countless unforgettable memories.